Hi guys, my name is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video that's probably going to be quite controversial. So today I'm going to be talking about authors that I think are overhyped and overrated, basically. Obviously I never go into a book hoping that I'm going to dislike it. I never go into a book or a series expecting to not like it or expecting to not enjoy it, because like a lot of people, I hope that every book I open I'm going to really like or love, or positive things mainly. But on some occasions, there are some books that I read where I don't get it. I don't get the hype. I don't get why the authors are so loved and so worshipped. I can see why they are in a way by the people. Just me, my opinion is different. So I know the first one I'll speak about is going to probably warrant the most controversy for me, and that's Sarah J. Maas. Before people get annoyed, I'm sorry if you do get annoyed by the way, but it's her writing style. I don't like her writing style. I don't get her writing style. I like her characters. I like her premise, the concept, I like the stories, all the ideas. I don't like her writing. Her writing really gets on my nerves. It took me, so long to get into the Throne of Glass series. It took me ages to read the first book. It put me off reading the rest of the books. I think I waited about 6 months until I read Crown of Midnight, but then I absolutely loved Crown of Midnight because the story was awesome. So much action. Her writing gets on my nerves. The fact that she always seems to have to make everything, literally everything, seem overly dramatic all the time. Even when there's just like a perfectly ordinary scene where there's two characters talking to each other, having a normal conversation, kind of like if I was just talking to you now in a normal way, normal tone of voice, calm, chilled out, casual, laid back kind of chat, and she has to make it so dramatic, put things in, but like the uneasy factor to make you feel on edge, as though you're always constantly waiting for something big to happen. And it really gets on my nerves. There's absolutely no need to do that. In all of her books, she does that. Again, I've said before, books for me start off slow and build up and get better as they go along. And by the end of the books, in Throne of Glass, I love them. By the way, I did attempt to read A Court of Thorns and Roses a couple of weeks ago. I started it. First few pages were okay. I got to about page 50 and I didn't like it. I couldn't carry on reading it. It's just not for me. I might go back to it at some point. I really did hope I would like that as well, because from what people have said before, it's kind of like a loose retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and I love Beauty and the Beast. So I was really hoping I was going to like it, but not. I think I may be in the minority at this point in time of people who actually prefer the Throne of Glass series to her A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Her writing really gets on my nerves. I find her writing really irritating. Again, like I said, I love her stories. Her writing just gets on my nerves. I don't like it. It's not for me. Next one on my list is Neil Gaiman. Again, the writing style. I absolutely love the book Coraline. Love that book. I read it last year and it's amazing. I love the movie. I've seen the movie quite a few times and absolutely love it. And I read the book as soon as I finished reading it. I wanted to read it again because it was so good. I've attempted to read the Graveyard book by him, and I think is it called Stardust or something like that? Star something. I apologise. I can't quite remember the name of the book. My boyfriend bought me that because I read Coraline, loved Coraline, and I didn't like it. Again, I didn't like the writing style of this book. I can't remember what it's called. Stardust, I think it's called. I'm sorry, I can't remember. It's on my bookshelf, but one of them days where I can't remember things. Yeah, and tried to read the Graveyard book when I was younger, and I don't like the writing style. I think if I hadn't have watched Coraline first, the movie, I don't think I'd have liked the book that much. But because I already knew the story, I could kind of see past his writing style of the book because I love the story so much. But again, his writing really irritates me. It's a bit kind of whimsical and a bit fantastical for my taste. I mean, I know, again, in like fantasy type books and things, like supernatural things that go on, it's understandable to a point. But again, the writing style of Neil Gaiman really irritates me. This concept of stories are good. The writing just gets on my nerves, so I don't like his writing, so I just don't. The next one, sorry, my friend on Facebook recommended these to me, and I know she loves these. It's a series that got her into reading, she's told me quite a few times. But it's going to have to be Kate Tiernan, who most famously to me anyway writes the Sweep series. There was about, how many? 18 books I think in this series from what I can remember. I've read 5. And again, again, the concept is pretty interesting. I like some of the characters, but again, all the books are the same. They are the same. I'll read them for a bit of escapism. If things I'm reading are a bit heavy and I want something that's a bit more light and a bit kind of like easy to read, I will read these. But I know a lot of people spoke about them. I think I missed the bandwagon. If I'd have read them when I was younger, I probably would be sitting here saying there's something completely different now. But all of the books are exactly the same. And it's boring. It's really boring. I like the first one okay, and I like the fourth one okay, because things started to change. But from what I read in the fifth one, again, it's exactly the same, just over and over and over again, the same thing. And again, full of cliches and full of tropes and things that really do bug me and that I've spoke about before in other videos. So them books are really overhyped in my opinion. And again, her writing style and that as well. It's very juvenile, like very juvenile. They might have been written for a younger audience, so maybe that's me being older reading them. It's probably hindered my experience of reading them. But I just know her book. They just no, I don't get it. I think she's overhyped. I just do, especially them books. If she's written other ones, please do let me know because I'll give them a read and see what they're like. But as far as this series goes, I think it's really overhyped. And the next one on my list as well may cause some controversy. Even though I read the books and I enjoyed the books, but it's Veronica Roth, who is famous for it in the Divergent series and more recently Carve the Mark. And the reason I'm saying she's overhyped is because I know, I mean, I'm a fan of dystopian, not so much now, but when the Hunger Games come out and Divergent come out and the Maze Runner. I read them series and like them series. I love the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is brilliant. Divergent is okay, but it's mainly because of Insurgent and Allegiant that I'm saying this. I think Divergent would have been okay as a standalone book. And I've said before, the bold decisions she makes in Allegiant, I agree with that. She's brave for doing that. I like when authors do things like that. But looking back at it, I've read the series once. I don't think I'd ever read it again. It's one of them that I like having on my shelves because I enjoyed them at the time. So it's more for like a nostalgia kind of purpose. But I don't think I'd ever read the books again because thinking that they're quite bad actually. They're not very the best, not very well written books. And it's kind of in a different setting, but it's been done before. I know it's probably hard to differentiate between dystopian books because it's obviously, the end of the world kind of thing, post-apocalyptic. There's only so much you can do with that. I understand that it can't be easy, but I wouldn't read them again. I tried reading Carve the Mark as well. I bought Carve the Mark on the day it come out. I went book shopping with my boyfriend and it was on sale the day it was released, so I got it quite cheap in hardback, so that was obviously a good thing. I tried reading it and I couldn't get into it. I really want to because I liked Divergent. I didn't really like Insurgent. I didn't really like Allegiant apart from the end, and I liked the collection of short stories, all from Fall's point of view. I like that. I really want to love Carve the Mark, but because of Divergent and because of kind of like things in it that were so badly done, and some of the writing was, it seemed like she was kind of like taking ideas from other people and just kind of wording it differently. I can't get into Carve the Mark. I really want to, but I don't. Again, I don't like her writing. I think that's what it is with a lot of these authors. I don't like the writing. And the next one on my list is an author called Jandy Nelson. I've only read one of her books, and I'm not going to read any more, I don't think. The book I read was The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. It was pitted as the next John Green kind of book. That's who she'd been compared to, and I read it, and it's really, really not. Absolutely love The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I like Paper Towns, and I like a few of his others. And I read this, and it was so bad, so bad. Can't remember any of the characters' names. I do remember a bit of the story, and I don't think it's a spoiler because it basically tells you on the back of the book, so it's not a spoiler. The main character's sister dies, so she's mourning the death of her sister. Our main character's only about 16 years old, I think. She's mourning the death of her sister, and it's how it deals with grief. I liked how it dealt with grief because obviously, like a lot of people, or like everybody, I've been through that kind of thing where you mourn the loss of a family member or a friend or a loved one or anything like that. So how it was handled in the book to deal with that was good, I thought. But it basically just turned into this really weird love triangle between her and her dead sister's boyfriend and her best friend. It all just became about a love triangle, about her deciding which boy to go with and which one was the best for her at the time and which one she got on with the best and which one has the nicest hair and all that kind of thing. It really pissed me off. It went completely off topic about what she's supposed to be dealing with, which was done well. But I know I've said before in one other video, I think, when I start reading a book, if I'm reading it and I'm starting to get a headache, I know I'm not going to enjoy the book. This book was bought for me and I read it, and I'm grateful this bought for me. It's lovely, always lovely, always lovely to receive books, but I really did not like this book. And I know she writes I'll Give You the Sun. Is that what it's called? I'll Give You the Sun. And I know people have said that's good. And despite the shining good reviews of that book, I'm not going to read it. That book really pissed me off. It really put me in a bad mood. I didn't like it at all. So again, I've only read one, so I can't compare, but I'm not going to read and I'll Give You the Sun, even though that's the book everybody seems to go on about. And all the videos I've seen and reviews I've seen, I'll Give You the Sun, everyone says it is so much better than The Skies Everywhere. I'm still not going to read it because it just really put me in a bad mood. So I think she's overhyped. I think that book is so bad. So bad. It's one of the worst books I've read. Again, I never go into a book hoping to dislike it, but I knew within about 10 pages I wasn't really going to like this book. I only read it and pushed through it because it was bought for me. Otherwise I would have just stopped reading it. So bad. So bad. Next one. I've just finished one of her books. And I know there's quite a few because she's got a couple of series out. But it's Maggie Stiefvater. Again, the writing. Right. I want to read The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater because I've heard and seen that it's really good. And I like a good series because I know there's like 4 books so far. I don't know if any more are coming out. And I want to read them. And I've seen a couple of my friends had read the Shiver series. Well, the Wolves of Mercy Falls series. The first book is called Shiver, and I read it. And some of it I did like. It's again, gives it away in the title, The Wolves of Mercy Falls. Some characters are werewolves. Well, wolves. All through the winter when it's cold, they're wolves, and then when it becomes summertime, they're human. So for about 5 months, they're human. For the remainder of the time, they're wolves. So that concept was awesome. It was really good. I kind of got Twilight vibes when I was reading it, and to me that's a good thing because I really do like Twilight, despite the problematic things that happen, which I can see and understand. I do like Twilight. The wolves, like I said, the wolf aspect of it was awesome to read about because they can still talk to each other through the mind when the wolves, and the thought process and how they see things through the eyes of a wolf was really interesting. I like the main character. She was a pretty good main character. But again, the writing style was really bad. Again, I think these were intended for a younger audience. So if I read The Raven Cycle now, I don't know. Because I know it's young adult, obviously. And I do enjoy a lot of young adult, even though I'm 28 years old. I still do enjoy quite a lot of young adult books. But this one really annoyed me again, really tropey, full of loads of cliches, repetitive. Again, I've said it, I'm going to repeat myself, the wolves were awesome, but nothing really happened much in the story. It was kind of slow. That being said, I do want to continue the series. I do want to continue pretty soon as well, because it's one of them guilty pleasure kind of reads, even though it's bad. Even it was bad. The writing annoyed me, and the story was like what's the word I'm looking for? Predictable. The story was predictable. You can kind of see what's going to happen all the way through it. I want to keep reading the series because, at the time I read it, it was good for at the time, but it's just bad. The writing, I don't know what it is about writing. Again, kind of like all whimsical and fairy-like and all that kind of thing. Which I think, and from what I've seen of the Raven Cycle, it's kind of more like fantasy. Maggie Stiefvater would be suited more to fantasy rather than like supernatural kind of thing, I think, from how her writing was anyway. But it has hindered my judgment again of a book, so I want to read The Raven Cycle, but it's put me off. So somebody please try and convince me to read The Raven Cycle because it sounds really interesting. It sounds like a lot of things I like in books. So please do try to convince me because at the moment I'm not going to read A Raven Cycle. I'll see what lingers like the next book in this Shiver series. I'll see what I think of that first. The last one on my list, I don't think it needs much explaining really, but that's E.L. James. The author, I say author very, very, very loosely. You use that term very loosely. Are 50 Shades of Grey, the 50 Shades of Grey series, right? I'll be honest, I read the whole series mainly to see what the hype was about, and so bad, right? I've said before that I love Twilight. I've read Twilight a couple of times, the whole series a couple of times. And when 50 Shades of Grey first come out, people were saying it was just like fan fiction of Twilight. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't read it when anyone else was reading it. Waited quite a few years before I read the book, and when I read the books, that's like I think about. Well, I read Twilight quite a few years ago. I read 50 Shades of Grey, and then I reread Twilight again after I read 50 Shades, and all I could see was Bella and Edward all the time because it is exactly the same. We see what people mean now, which I mean, I'm not a big fan of erotica or romance or anything like that, and like obviously because people know what 50 Shades of Grey about, there's a lot of sex in the books, right? Once you've read one scene of them having sex, every single one is exactly the same. So you just, well, I did. You skim all them bits and read the rest of it, right? And I know it's problematic. I get that, but I like the backstory of Christian's story. I like the backstory of Christian of when he was a kid and all the things he went through. It was sad, but it was interesting. And I liked Anna as a character. I liked her bravery. I liked her sarcasm. I liked her wit. I liked how clever she was. I like that. But they are so, so bad. How the hell did, especially the first one, become a bestseller? How does that happen? And how? I don't get it. I can understand why people will read it for escapism and all that kind of thing. I get that. They're one of the most. Did read the whole series, mainly because of what I meant about them. That's why, right? Why? How the hell did these books end up on bestseller lists? What is wrong with the world? Seriously, what is wrong with the world when books that bad, written about? It doesn't matter what it's written about, what kind of subjects it's written about, because from what I've seen and what I've heard, what it is written about, it's written about so poorly, with no research done about it, no knowledge in the subject or anything, so that makes it even worse. She doesn't know her audience very well because she didn't put any thought into what she's actually writing about. Oh no, it just pissed me off so much. Them books are so bad. Anna is funny. I like Anna. I do. I like Anna as a character. I think she's really, really funny and, like I said, really witty and really clever and really smart. A weak female character, but the way her mind was, I liked her. But that's the only thing I liked about these books. That's the only reason I kept reading is because of Anna. I can't stand Christian. Christian's a dick. He's a dick. He is a dick. Sorry. The subject matter, I don't care about subject matter. I don't care. I'm not interested. I liked Anna. Well, finally, right? I can rant about these books because I know a lot of people like them. I can understand why people do like them for various different reasons. But they're so bad. They're so bad. I'd never read them again. Never. But yeah, that's it, guys, for this video. I'm sorry it went from kind of being like a bit more neutral to me just like getting angry and ranting. I do apologise for that, but it needed to be said. Right, I'm gonna do another video as well about books I think are overhyped. That'll be coming soon. I'm hosting a giveaway on my channel. I'll be leaving a link for that video in the description box, so I recommend you go check out. You could win yourself a free book. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you very soon with another one. Bye!